Hello everyone! This is Miss Dean's lesson on Grade 8 Math. This is the first lesson on factoring polynomials. I would like you to ready your notes, ready your pens as we go through learning factoring polynomials. But before anything else, I would like to remind you that there are some instances that I would be asking you questions. And I would like you to pause the video, think over of what could be the answer, and then unpause if you're ready to proceed. Our main topic is factoring by Greatest Common Monomial Factor, abbreviated as GCMF. Now, there are many ways on how to factor Greatest Common Monomial Factor. In this video, we will focus more on using prime factorization technique. Are we ready to learn? Let's have a review. Which of the following are factors of 24? We have 6 choices here. Now remember that the factors are numbers with smaller value that can divide the given number, which is in here, the number 24. Think over of the answer. Pause. Do you have the answer now? Correct. The factors of 24 here are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Some factors of 24 are 8, 12, and 24. Which of the following are factors of 30? We have another 6 choices here. Think over the answer. Pause. Do you have now the answers? Yes. We have 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 as factors of 30. Some factors are 10, 15, and 30. Can you determine the prime factors of 24? Remember that prime numbers are numbers that can be divided by 1 and itself only. Now let's have a flow chart. 24 can be divided by 2 and 12. 2 is a prime factor, but 12 is not. So 12 can still be divided by 2 and 6. And 6 can still be divided by 2 and 3. Thus, we have 2, 2, another 2, and 3 as prime factors of 24. Can you determine the prime factors of 30? Now this time, I would like you to make your own flowchart showing how to get the prime factors of 30. Pause the video. Now do you have the flowchart? Let's see if we have the same. 30 can be divided by 2 and 15. 15 can still be divided by 3 and 5. Now the prime factors of 30 are 2, 3, and 5. Let's proceed. Using the prime factors of 24 and 30, what are their common factors? We know that 24 can be rewritten as 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, and 30 can be rewritten as 2 times 3 times 5 using their prime factors. Now as you notice, 2 as well as 3 are common factors. Now if we get the product of 2 and 3, 2 times 3, the product is 6. 6 here is what we call the greatest common factor. But how about polynomials? How can we factor polynomials? Remember that polynomials consist of a coefficient or a variable or a combination of both and being separated by addition and subtraction. Such polynomials are AB plus AC, 6mn plus 3m, 6p squared q cubed minus 8p cubed q squared r, and 12x squared y cubed minus 15x cubed y squared z plus 18x y z squared. So, how can we factor polynomials then? Follow the following steps. First, check common factors of the coefficients and or common variables in each term of the given polynomial. Remember that coefficients are the numbers and the variables are the letters, and we can easily determine it using prime factorization. Second, we factor out the common monomial factors. If we get the product, we can get the greatest common monomial factor. Then, we get the quotient by dividing the given original polynomial with the GCMF, or simply get the non-common factors. Then finally, we can write the factored form, which is consisting of GCMF and the quotient. Let's try factoring AB plus AC. Before anything else, let's check first if there are any common coefficients and or variables. Now noticeably, in the first term as well as in the second term, there is a repeated variable. So we will be using GCMF. So in order to factor it out, let's use prime factorization. AB can be rewritten as A times B, while AC can be rewritten as A times C. A here is common. Therefore, our GCMF is A. Now let's get the quotient. We divide the first term, AB, with the GCMF, which is A. AB divided by A is B. As you notice, B is here. It is the non-common factor. So simply, we can copy the first term as B. Then copy the sign plus. Then AC divided by A is C. As you notice, it is here. Therefore, we can copy C as a quotient of the second term. Therefore, the factored form is A times the quantity of B plus C. Let's try 6mn plus 3m. Notice that 6 and 3 have common factors and the variable m is being repeated. So we can use the GCMF. 6mn using prime factorization can be rewritten as 2 times 3 times m times n, while 3m can be rewritten as 3 times m. Notice that 3 here as well as m are common factors. Thus, to get the GCMF, we get the product of 3 and m, and the answer is 3m. Next, let's get the quotient. We divide 6mn with the GCMF, which is 3m. 6mn divided by 3m is 2n. Notice that 2n can be found here, the non-common factors. Thus, the quotient of the first term is 2n. Copy the sign plus. Then, 3m divided by 3m is 1. Notice there is no other remaining factor here, but we can have it as 1. Therefore, our quotient for the second term is 1. Therefore, the factored form is 3m times the quantity of 2n plus 1. Let's try factoring 6p squared q cubed minus 8p cubed q squared r. Notice that the first term and second terms has common factors. Now using prime factorization, 6p squared q cubed can be rewritten as 2 times 3 times 2p's, then 3 q's. Then 8p cubed q squared r can be written as 2 times 2 times 2 times 3p's, 2 q's, and 1 r. Notice that 2 here is repeated. This one also is repeated. P is also repeated. Q and another Q. So there are basically 2, then 2p's, so p squared, and 2 q's, so that is q squared. Therefore, the GCMF is 2p squared q squared. Now to get the quotient, we divide the first term with the GCMF 2p squared q squared. We can simply get this by looking at the non-common factors, which are 3 and q for the first term. So that is 3 cubed. Then copy the sign minus. Then the second term, we divide 8p cubed q squared r with 2p squared q squared. And we can simply get this by determining the non-common factors, which is 2 times 2 is 4, then 1p, then 1r. Therefore, the factored form is 2p squared q squared times the quantity of 3q minus 4pr. Okay, let's try to factor 12x squared y cubed minus 15x cubed y squared z plus 18x y z squared. There are 3 terms, and noticeably, the terms have common factors. So let's use prime factorization. 12x squared y cubed can be rewritten as 2 times 2, that's 4, times 3 to make it 12, times 2x's and 3 y's. 15x cubed y squared z can be rewritten as 3 times 5 times 3x's, then 2 y's, then 1z. Then 18xyz squared can be rewritten as 2 times 3, that is 6, times 3 to make it 18, then 1x, 1y, then 2 z's. So as you notice, the common factors are 3, 1x, and 1y only. Therefore, the GCMF is 3xy. So the factored form is 3xy times the quantity of the quotient of each term, which is the non-common terms. 2 times 2, that is 4, then 1x and 1y. Copy the sign minus, that's 5, 2x's, 1y and z, then copy the sign plus, 2 times 3 is 6, then z squared. And that is our factored form. Did you understand what we have discussed? Now let's apply what we have learned. Which of the following is the GCMF of the given polynomial? mn e squared plus m cubed e. You are given 2 choices. Think over of what could be the answer. Pause. Do you have the answers now? Yes, the answer is me. The factored form of mn e squared plus m cubed e is me times the quantity of ne plus m squared. Which of the following is the GCMF of the given polynomial? 14ab squared minus 12b cubed c. You are given 2 choices again. Think over of what could be the answer. Pause. Do you know now the answer? Yes, it's 2b squared. The factored form of the given polynomial is 2b squared times the quantity of 7a minus 6bc. Last, which is the factored form of the given polynomial? 10x squared y to the power of 4 plus 25x cubed yz. You are given another 2 choices. Think it over. Pause. What could be the answer? Yes, it's 5x squared y times the quantity of 2y cubed plus 5xz. Very good. Remember that GCMF can only be used if there are common factors on each term of the polynomial. And before using any other methods of factoring, check first if there are any common factors and use GCMF. Thank you so much for going through with me on learning Greatest Common Monomial Factor. Did you take notes? Did you learn everything? Do you have any confusions? If you have, don't be shy to write it down on the comments. Until next time!